Thanks for staying with us. Let's take the stories in Punch.
Yes, so I have the major headline. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board on Thursday said they will review the results of the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination following what it described as unusual public complaints. So a notice was seen by Punch in Abuja that confirmed that the review meeting will bring together vice-chancellors, provosts, rectors, schools, school principals, examiners, and technical experts to scrutinize the examination process and address the widespread dissatisfaction that was expressed by candidates and stakeholders. So this development also came from the week of the mounting protest from candidates and parents over the results released last Friday, with many of them alleging technical glitches and inconsistencies during the exams. So according to the official notice, the review panel, which includes members from all the Nigerian Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools, the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria, the Educational Assessment and Research Network, and top officials from the Nigeria's tertiary institutions, they will evaluate the conduct and outcome of the 2025 JAMB. And they said in furtherance of the commitment of the board to earn public confidence in its processes, the management of the board has approved your participation to be part of the review panel constituted to appraise the conduct of the examination with the mandate to identify challenges, if any, and proffer relevant recommendations to prevent reoccurrence. So they said that the panel's assignment will be at no cost to the board, right? And they said normally they go and review the examinations a few months after they have released the results. But because of the public outcry, they are saying they are going to come together on Thursday and start the review. They are going to be bringing in lots of technical experts to find out exactly where the problems are coming from. Then they talked about the fact that it's been like a 12-year trajectory. Results have been going down and many of the issues that result into it. But aside from that, they're taking responsibility for what has happened. And with the review, after the review, we'll now know exactly where the problem came from.
I was going to take the U.S. Shares Wigwe's helicopter crash report. So the DG of Nigeria Safety and Investigation Bureau, Alex Bade, has said that the United Nations Transportation Safety Board shared the report of the helicopter crash that claimed the lives of Herbert Wigwe, his wife, their son, another chief executive officer, and two pilots. NSIBS is an agency of the federal government, and Biden made this known exclusive that in an exclusive chat that he received the report, which is just about a week ago, a week after the report was released by the NTSB in the US. Because if you recall, I took that story last week where it was officially put out there with the final report on the helicopter crash. So a week after, Nigeria has received it, and I'm not sure exactly what they plan to do with that, but it's good for us to have an official report of exactly what happened. Then hopefully the family can then take the next steps based on
But they had said it was pilot error. He was not supposed to have taken off when he did.
Exactly.
Because of weather conditions and sad.
So I want to take the story of Dangote and oil marketers. So the oil marketers have declared that there's a likelihood that the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and others in Nigeria may raise the cost of petrol to as high as 1,500 once there's an outright ban. That because right now there's a little bit of competition, they are forcing the price down, but they know that if they become like a monopoly where nobody can import, if there's a ban on importation, that the Dangote Petroleum is going to jack the price up to 1,500 per litre. Of course, the spokesperson of Dangote has said that no, that's just because they want to continue to import substandard fuel into the country, that's not their intention. They said the rumors that the president may ban fuel importation is not welcomed by IPMAN, and so they are going to say anything to keep it from happening. That they noted that the importers were only, that the imports were the only hope. Importers are now saying that they are the only hope of the nation when we have no functioning refinery in the country. I'm wondering, excuse me, we have modular refineries and we have Dangote refineries. So how can you say we don't have functional refineries, and that they want to use this importation to check domestic fuel price hike from happening? Whichever way, there is an economic conversation happening, not really about Nigerians. It's about business for this IPMAN and Dangote. We expect that the Nigerian government and regulators, the midstream the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petrol Regulators Authority would be the unbiased participants in this that protect our interests from anything happening. So if you're going to ban it, please ensure that we don't wake up tomorrow morning and find price of fuel is now 1,500 per litre because we have no scarcity as well. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Daily Sun. Reps reject power rotation bill and 6 others. Can cries foul alleged discrimination in North. FG prefers solutions to irregular migration to Europe. Ganduche launches fresh attack on Lamido. Police arrest 239 suspected kidnappers, bandits, and others in Kogi. Tinubu, Jonathan Akpabio, Oborevori, others eulogize Clark at funeral. And Senate calls for recomposition of FAC to include representation of local government councils and area councils. Okay.
Major headline, the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria in the 19 northern states and federal capital FCT has raised concerns bordering on national security, religious freedom, and institutional discrimination. So they had a strategic interface with the National Security Advisor, Madam Nuhu Rubadu. This was in Abuja. And they had a 14-point communique. And this was what it included. First of all, they commended the NSA's openness, but warned that ongoing spate of insecurity, marginalization, and systemic bias against Christians in the North could inflame tensions and truncate the nation's fragile peace. They identified inflammatory religious messages, particularly by some clerics, as a major trigger of ethno-religious crisis, calling for urgent sensitization and regulation of religious preaching across faiths. The Christian body also decried the misuse of social media to spread falsehood and inciting content, urging the government to equip security agencies with digital tracking tools to identify and prosecute offenders, and so on and so forth. They're saying that equally there's a denial of access to land for building churches, discrimination in appointments, admissions into tertiary institutions, and forceful conversions of underage Christian girls under the guise of marriage. So these acts, the leaders have warned, are eroding national trust, violating constitutional guarantees of freedom of religion and association. And they are calling the federal government to please investigate and address these violations, warning that silence or inaction could escalate religious tensions.
Yeah.
So I have the story of irregular migration and the fact that the federal government has identified 3 steps to deal with this issue. The Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction was speaking at the opening of the first thematic meeting of Rabat process in Abuja. Professor Yuwatda said that they have identified one thing that is good about this is statistically, they said 80% of Nigerians that are migrating do so officially. But the 20% that do so through illegal means, they've identified 3 ways they feel it can be addressed. First of which is that they were going to improve, the first of which is to provide proper knowledge on, provide digital skills. That if people have digital skills and they have migration literacy across Africa, that people don't know that there are many options for migration. The more people know about options for migration, they know they will take it. Second is to develop a harmonized migration policy framework so that people can qualify easily. They see the path towards qualification and they will reduce the irregular migration. And the third is to establish Youth Innovation Fund to create opportunities for young people to find and see opportunities within Nigeria, not feel like they need to travel before they will get those opportunities. Yeah. And he said that migration is a strategy for peace and prosperity and survival, not just for Nigeria, but for the entire world. So because, there's a whole lot going on. I also feel like we're spending too much money on bringing back people. But he's now asking that they will be needing help from collaboration from partners on migration governance to support, create opportunities here and create opportunities and support in bringing back these young people, because the government can sustain bringing them back.
Yeah, so the Kogi State Police Command has arrested 239 suspects and recovered various weapons and ammunition in the state. The success were recorded when the force launched comprehensive attacks on the den of kidnappers and bandits in different locations across the state. So at a press briefing in Lokoja, the state capital, yesterday, the Kogi State Commissioner of Police, Mila Dantawaye, said the ongoing onslaught against kidnapping, banditry, and other crimes in the state has continued to yield positive results, and command recorded successes in the last 3 months. He said, while he was giving a breakdown of the arrests made from February to May, he said 66 robbery suspects who were, terrorizing the state were arrested, while 75 suspected kidnappers were apprehended at various locations in the state. He said that 21 persons were arrested for unlawful possession of firearms, 18 for homicide, 6 for cultism, and 4 for allegations bordering on rape. He also said 49 suspects were arrested for various heinous crimes, and he went ahead to talk about, one of the incidents, giving details of that particular incident. So they are doing a lot. They said they recovered a lot of ammunition, AK-47 rifles, magazines, different rounds of magazines. Were recovered vehicles and other things that they've been using for their operations. And he's saying that Kogi State will no longer take some of these criminal activities. They're coming all out to get those criminals, and they will all face the law.
Okay, do we have time for a story? Quickly. Tribune, which one?
I have Vanguard. Nigeria's foreign exchanges.
Just go ahead.
Earnings. Okay. So Nigerian foreign exchange earnings, they say, will come under threat as the United States Congress is looking to impose a 5% tax on all diaspora remittances. So the money that they send to us,
they will tax it now.
They want to tax it 5%. But they said those that will be exempted are if you're actual United States citizens. But it's going to be affecting a lot of countries. Nigeria, India, Egypt, so many. We're one of the top recipient countries. One of the top countries that send money out is the United States. And then you have Switzerland and Saudi Arabia. Top recipient countries, we have Nigeria as number 9, China, Mexico, Philippines, Pakistan, Egypt. So he's saying it's going to affect us, affect the value of our naira.
Again?
The less forex we get in.
Oh, we can take on this. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, move on to our topics of today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.